miles an hour.
It is that 208. Wow. The only place W would have disagreed with you is on turbochargers and superchargers.
Absolutely. It goes back to what the order in which he did things, so always reliability, refinement, power.
Right.
And of course the supercharger flipped those around. It put power first. In his own words, he said it corrupted his engine because it went against his principles. And ultimately, he was right. You know, the blower Bentleys were astonishingly fast, but it never won a race.
Never won anything.
And the Speed 6 won Le Mans twice.
Welcome to episode of Jay Leno's Garage, the car we're featuring today, 2025 Bentley Continental GT Speed. You know, I love these things. Usually I like the first generation when a car comes out. First generation Mustang, first generation Camaro. Those are always the best looking ones. And then they kind of mess them up a little bit. This has gone completely the opposite. This is a car that's gotten better looking, looks trimmer, looks sleeker with each new version of it. This one is a V8. I know you're going to say it used to have the W12, but this is actually faster. Faster, better mileage, and you have a hybrid system of 50 miles free, which I think is great. You know, I meet a lot of people, they comment on these kind of things before they actually drive it, and I think you will like this more than the 12. The 12 was, when it came out, it was just, unbelievable, but over the years, it's gotten more sophisticated. This is a 4-liter engine. It's smaller, but it's faster. It's a little heavier than the 12, but it makes more power and it handles better. And if you look at it from 20 feet, it seems like a big car. And the closer you get, you go, oh, it's not really that big. It's really a nice size. You've got 4-wheel drive, you've got rear-wheel steering. You know, Bentley used to be under the thumb of Rolls-Royce. When W.O. developed his cars, he developed a car called the 8-liter Bentley. That was supposed to go against Rolls-Royce. And because of the depression and one of the bad business decisions, it didn't quite make it. And Rolls-Royce bought Bentley, and they kind of had to put his name on their cars. Now it's back doing what W.O. does best. He loves to race. He likes fast cars with comfort, and this is exactly what that is. I've got an 89 Turbo R, the very first one in the country, the Bentley Turbo R, which is essentially just a Rolls-Royce with a supercharger, but it's so much better than that because it handles and it has some W.O. DNA in it, as this does as well. Let's meet the gentleman in charge of the Heritage Collection, and Mike Sayer. Mike, come in. What is your charge of Heritage, and what's the other one? I
look after product communications, Jay, for Bentley, and yeah, I have the privilege of looking after our Heritage Collection as well.
All right. Well, that's got to be a lot of fun. You get to drive all the cool stuff.
The best part of my job. We have 50 cars in our collection now, dwarfed by what you have here, but everything from the oldest Bentley in the world through the beautiful pre-war Bentleys of W.O. We have our own 8-liter like yours, and the collection comes all the way up to present day.
Right.
So the newest car in the collection is one of these.
Well, this is great. It looks terrific. I love the clean front end. I love the single headlight, which actually has more light than the dual setup that used to have. Obviously.
Yeah. So it was a big change for us. For all 3 previous generations of the Continental GT, the car had twin headlamps, as every Bentley since the 1960s. This is the first single headlamp Bentley since the S2 of 1959.
Oh, okay.
So it's a big change, but as you were saying at the start, it sort of leads to just a tighter, more muscular car overall. It's always, with this car, it's always been evolution rather than revolution as we go through the generations.
Well, it's a car I always tell people, before you just drive it. Because a lot of guys think they want a Porsche GT3 with the hard riding, you're hitting every bump, and you know, and then you try this, you go, oh, I can kind of get that handling, but a bit more comfort and a bit more luxurious. And it certainly has an interior to rival Rolls-Royce. I mean, there's nothing skimpy here. It really is impressive. Nice looking car. How long have they had 4-wheel steering?
4-wheel steering was introduced at the end of the 3rd generation with GT Speed. This car has all of the tricks in our chassis toy box. So we have 4-wheel steering, we have an active center differential, we have active torque split front and rear and left and right, 2-chamber air suspension, electric active anti-roll control. So with this car in its sportiest setting, the handling is outstanding. And it will drive like a rear-wheel drive car as well.
And it's not a light car by any means, but just through electronics and suspension trickery, you have no idea.
Yeah. Our chassis team are masters at bending the laws of physics to the limit.
And
Absolutely.
of course, you have the advantage of four-wheel drive, and it rains all the time in England, so it's slippery.
I don't know what you mean.
Yeah. I mean, here with snow and whatnot, I mean, yeah, it's pretty amazing. And those brakes are massive. Tell me about those.
Yeah, so this car is on iron brakes. Our carbon brakes that we do, they're the largest front discs of any braking system in the world. So this car doesn't have them, but they're 440 millimeters.
Right.
They're enormous.
Most people do not need the carbon brakes, do they?
I don't think so. For everyday use, iron brakes are amazing. If you're doing work on track, and driving at speed regularly, then the carbon brakes are more fade resistant.
Right. I think if you're on the Autobahn
Yeah.
all the time, you're coming down from 200 miles an hour. But for most, the iron brakes, and less maintenance and last longer. Yeah, I mean, they're very, very good.
Yep.
Now, this is a 4-liter V8, correct?
Yes. So 4-litre V8 twin turbo engine paired with an electric motor that sits between the engine and the gearbox. So the engine by itself makes 584 horsepower. The electric motor is another 187. They make their peaks at different times, but in total it's a 771 horsepower car.
So it's all-wheel drive all the time?
It's all-wheel drive, but it can move almost everything to the rear axle.
Okay.
So depending on what mode you have it in, you can drive it like it's a rear-wheel drive car.
Right.
And it's always actively moving power around to where the traction is.
So in sport mode, what is the split?
In sport mode, it can be basically entirely rear-wheel drive, and it will
Okay.
only send power to the front when it detects the rear is slipping.
Right.
So this is very much, if you're into driving sideways, this is a Continental GT that you can drift.
And most people are not. Most
People are not.
Yeah, it's fun to take it out and have some fun with it once in a while.
But it's a bit like an SUV. Even if you don't ever take it off-road, it's nice to know that it can do it.
Right, yeah. I like the wheels. I like the absence of chrome.
This black chrome looks amazing, gives the car a slightly more sort of menacing stance. And of course, the beauty of this is it is all built by hand still at our factory in Crewe in England. The whole interior is done by hand.
You know, the Bentley heritage with WO really goes back to 1919 when he started the company, because he built the Continental. The idea was you could drive from London to Italy and get on those European roads and open it up and go fast.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got an 8-liter Bentley. They only built 100 of those. It is the greatest driving car.
Yep.
You know, W.O. Bentley was a locomotive engineer, so the overhead cam is driven by conrods. You know how you see the wheels of a train, they're like this?
That's right.
Well, so it's silent, and it's amazing how well it works. I mean, it's a sort of locomotive engineering put into an automobile.
Completely.
So consequently, you get a longevity. Every Bentley from 1919, 1930, people still drive them. They take them around the world. And I love the Bentley Club because they don't care. If a part breaks, they make another one and put it on. It isn't one of those, oh no, it's got to have the original conrod, so don't rev it up. People just beat the hell out of them.
Yeah.
And they just continue to run forever. And this car is sort of in that heritage, is what I like. Yeah, you know, it's a good looking car. It has gotten better looking over the years.
I think so too. Yeah, and as we've gone on, we've introduced new manufacturing techniques that mean we can have sharper lines and deeper surfaces, but it's one of those cars that looks fast even when it's standing still, I think, which is always a good marker for a car like this.
And it looks like you've sort of targeted Rolls-Royce with the interior. I mean, people buy a sports car and they're disappointed when the interior doesn't look upscale. I mean, this looks like exactly what it should.
Clearly I'm biased, but I genuinely believe we make the best interiors in the world. They're beautifully authentic, you know, things that look like metal are metal.
Right.
The leather is all real, it's all handcrafted. And the design is just beautiful, and it's a great place to sit. It's extremely comfortable. This is one of the cars, you can drive 500 miles in one of these and you get to where you're going feeling better than when you set off.
This is probably the most successful Bentley in the company's history, isn't it?
100%. Yeah. If you go back to 2003 when we launched the Continental GT, Bentley was making less than 1,000 cars a year.
Right.
And within 18 months of launch, we were building 10,000 cars a year.
Right.
And it's been that way ever since.
And the nice thing is, I wouldn't say it's affordable, but it's certainly more affordable. We get a lot more for your money. You know, people look at this and they think, look at other cars that are $600,000 or $700,000, and they realize, oh no, this is half that. Okay, I mean, it's a lot of money. I'm not saying
it's a lot of money, but it's a lot of car for the money as well.
But you get a lot of car. I mean, This interior looks way richer than the price of the car.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty impressive. Yeah, it's very good. It's very impressive. Can we open the hood?
Sure.
Well, not a lot to see.
Sadly, we can't see much.
Right,
no,
right.
very much a modern engine bay hidden by
Right.
engine covers and heat shields. But it's all in here. So yeah, 4-litre twin turbo V8. The turbos are at the back here, inside the V. Electric motor behind it in the gearbox. This whole powertrain, for me, it's a work of art, because you've got on one side a 771 horsepower supercar, and on the other side you've got a car that will do 50 miles of electric range.
Right. And this is not plastic.
And that is not plastic.
No, thank you.
No,
Thank you.
Of course not.
And of course, you've got your chassis bracing here, which is pretty impressive. You're not going to be changing your own spark plugs.
I don't think so.
I think it's
No,
safe
I don't
to
think
say,
so.
Yeah.
But unlike the original W12s, I think you can change the spark plugs in this without dropping the engine out of the car. So,
Oh yeah, that's right. The engine
that's
had to
helpful,
come
yeah.
out to yeah.
Like the old T-Series,
Yeah.
you know?
But then again, spark plugs last 100,000 miles now. So
Yeah.
the idea that you're changing plugs every 5,000, yeah, those days are gone forever.
You talked earlier about matching WO's philosophy. It's the same now. You know, W.O. Bentley he wasn't the world's best businessman. We know that, but he was an outstanding engine engineer.
Right.
And all of his engines were always built to the same three principles in the same order, which was reliability first, refinement second, and power third.
Right.
And we still have reliability as such a high priority for us now.
Yeah. No, it's been an amazing track record with these. They've sort of brought the level of the British car industry way up, because in America, we laughed at Jaguar and Lucas Electrics and all those kind of things. It was sort of the butt of the jokes. But I've never heard anything bad about these. They're all built properly, and it just a really good looking car. This is exactly what I think W.O. Bentley would want, something that was incredibly fast, but still comfortable.
I'd like to think he would be proud of this as a true Bentley. It is still very much an authentic Grand Tourer. It still lives up to his philosophy in terms of the way it's designed and engineered, and what it focuses on in terms of power and comfort and reliability. So I think he'd be pleased if he was around to see it.
What else do we have here? We have a proper trunk.
So yeah, the trunk is still big enough for a Grand Tourer. We've got the charging cables in here now, but we do a complete set of fitted luggage for the trunk as well. So you can get 5 different bags in here. At the boot floor, the trunk floor comes up slightly because of where the hybrid battery is, but it's still, you know, for 2 adults, and if you've had 2 adults and 2 kids, you've got enough space to go away for a Grand Tour.
Yeah, but the 50 miles is great, because if during the week, it's probably all you're going to use.
We know that 90% of Bentley customer journeys are less than 50 miles in a day.
Right.
So, you know, you could take your kids to school, go to the office, pick your kids up from school, go home, all on one battery charge. Plug it in when you get back.
Or plug it in at the office, or plug it in
at the office. And the great thing about this as well is it can self-charge. So you can charge the battery from the engine if you need to as well.
Okay.
So it is a plug-in, but you can run it as a
And you've got regen on the brakes.
And regen on the brakes as well. Really powerful regen on the brakes.
Right.
If you're using one of these on the track as we have, the regen is strong enough that you don't ever have to plug it in.
Right.
Even lapping it at
so
full
heavy,
pace.
it just automatically, you know. Very nice, very nice. And you have the whole bespoke package. You can get any color or whatever.
Of course, yeah. So even just with our standard options list, there are 46 billion ways that you can configure one of these.
Right.
If that's not enough, then you can get into the world of Mulliner, which is our bespoke and coach building division.
Right.
And then you can do anything from bespoke stitching all the way to paint to sample colours, unique materials, and from there the sky's the limit really.
And how many cars does Bentley build a year?
At the moment, it fluctuates year on year, but anything between 10 and 15,000 cars a year.
That's impressive,
on average.
yeah.
15,000 cars a year as a sort of upper limit feels about right.
Right.
Because part of the experience of owning a Bentley is some exclusivity. But that's the range we operate in.
Yeah. But the nice thing is, you can pick one up at 12 pretty reasonably, and they make great second cars. I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's just amazing how much fun they are to drive. You know, when they first came out, I was like, oh, I don't need four-wheel drive. I don't need this. I don't need that. I'm a bit of a purist that way. But then you drive and you go, oh, this is pretty good.
For a daily driver,
yeah, it's unbelievable.
It's pretty handy, nice. And it's nice now because the second-hand market for Continentals is good enough that you could step into a modern Bentley by walking up through previous generations at different price points. You know, we get asked about entry-level Bentleys, which this obviously isn't.
Right.
But for me, an entry-level Bentley is a second-hand Bentley.
Yeah.
And then you can work up from there.
Right.
And there are some really good cars out there in terms of the price you pay for them now.
Yeah,
You know, you wouldn't, as with anything, you'd avoid the bottom end of the market, but from the midpoint onwards, you can get
That's
a,
what I mean.
get a
They're
great car
expensive,
for
but
not much
not
money.
rare.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of them around, so it's very nice. Well, can we take her for a spin?
I think we should.
No, let's see what she does. Sight lines are all great. I like configuration on the dash. And this panel turns into gauges if you
Yeah,
see.
yeah. If we press this button, then you get the little James Bond effect,
Oh, okay, there you are.
and in come the gauges.
There you are.
I do really like that.
People really, James Bond's first car was a Bentley.
James Bond drove Bentleys.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. The Aston Martin was the pool car
Right.
that he was forced to drive when his Bentley was being repaired. In the books, he drove Bentleys.
Right, right.
And there's a guy in the UK, a wonderful guy, who has built the Bond Bentley that's described in the books.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, it's absolutely stunning.
Did it have gimmicks and things or what?
He's got the gimmicks, like he's got the controls from, but then none of them do anything.
Right.
But it looks like an R-Type Continental with the roof cut off,
Right.
and then Battleship Grey.
Oh, okay.
And it's absolutely stunning.
So it's not a WO Bentley he drives?
No.
Because in the original he drove a
In
WO.
the original he drove a WO, yeah.
Yeah.
And then in, I can't remember which book, but it describes this beautiful open-top Bentley, and this guy designed the car based on.
And it's
what's
funny
running
because
right
when
in
you
the book.
read the books, you realize if that was today, it would be a car from the 90s or the early 2000s.
Yeah.
The Bentley was only a couple of years old.
Yeah.
It wasn't that old.
Nope.
I mean, if you took a W12 owner and put him in this and told them it was a 12, I think they'd believe you.
Yeah, it's a really interesting dynamic with this. So we have had customers that just, and journalists and commentators who look at the spec and go, oh, it's a V8 instead of a 12.
Right.
No thanks.
Yeah.
The moment they drive it,
Right.
the universal response from the media once they've driven this is, you know, the king is dead, long live the king. The other nice thing about this engine and this powertrain, for me, I think it has more character than the 12. That's all right. This thing, you know, the total range is more than 500 miles on a tank.
Well, I think it's what most people want. You like the savings and the torque of the electric. If you run out of electricity, you've got your gas engine.
And you can recharge the gas engine in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I think hybrid's going to be the way to go for the next 30 or 40 years.
I think so too. I mean, we're flexing our plans at the moment, but the whole Bentley model range is now available with a hybrid option.
Right.
And they just make so much sense, particularly once even if you're skeptical about hybrid. Once you've driven it as an everyday car, it makes complete sense. Complete sense. So we're still working on our first EV that gets launched next year.
And what will that be?
It's a new car, so it's not a replacement for anything, but it's an SUV, slightly smaller than a Bentayga. So we're calling it an urban SUV because it's less than 5 meters long.
Right.
Our director of R&D, our member of the board for R&D, is very clear. It will be the best Bentley ever, full stop.
Right.
In terms of the way it drives, the way it performs, its comfort,
fully
luxury.
electric.
Fully electric.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Our
what's
first
your
fully
range?
electric car. I can't tell you that yet,
Okay.
but it will start with a 3.
Let's catch up to the again.
Here you go.
Oh, yeah, it hooks up very nice. Brakes massive.
This is officially 3.1 seconds to 60.
Yeah.
Unofficially, I think it'll do 3 dead,
I mean,
which is quick by anyone's measure.
It's very light on its feet.
Yeah. What I like most about this car is that sort of Jekyll and Hyde thing. So you can have it
Right.
full sport mode. There's a dynamic mode on the ESC where it lets you play with the car a bit more as well. You can start to drive it on the throttle, or you can just put it in comfort. Everything softens off.
Right.
The anti-roll bars go super loose. You can put it in EV, and you could just waft like an S3.
Right.
You know.
Right.
The suspension comfort of one
Wafting
of the
is one of
limousines.
those words left over from Rolls-Royce.
Absolutely. It's a good word. For me, a Bentley always has to be able to do both. You must have performance for it to be a real Bentley.
Right.
But you've also got to maintain the comfort.
Bentley lived until 1971, didn't he? Yeah, I always think, lamented, I didn't get a chance to meet any of these people when they're alive. And you read that and you go, I could have met him. I would have been 21, he would have been,
Yeah. He really was a victim of you were talking earlier about when Rolls-Royce bought Bentley in 1931. He was completely sidelined after that. And he went to work for Lagonda.
I know, he developed his first modern engine, which is the V12 in that Lagonda.
Yeah.
It's got 4 carburetors, makes 220 horsepower, overhead cam. I mean, it's a fantastic engine.
All you've got to do to understand his engineering ability, you just got to look at a 3 litre.
Right.
Look at an early 3 litre and have a look at what that engine is and how it was designed and developed. So if you look at the combination of things in there, it's overhead cam, 4 valves per cylinder, twin spark, aluminium piston. I mean, those are technologies that didn't come together again really in a sports car until like the 1970s.
Yeah. But with that locomotive style engine,
And we own EXP2, which is the second car he built. It's the oldest Bentley in the world. And of all the cars in the Heritage Collection, it's the one that always starts every single time. It's never
Well, see if you know this. Who bought the very first Bentley off the showroom floor at the Olympia Motor Show?
Well, there are 2 answers to that question, because there's the first customer and there's the person that received the first chassis.
Okay.
So the first customer, the first person to say I am customer number 1 was Noel van Ralt.
Okay.
But he wasn't the person that received that took delivery of the first car.
Now, the first car, that man's son became somebody famous. You know who it was?
Go on.
Q from.
Really?
Q from.
Oh, that's right, Llewellyn. Yes, of course.
Yeah, I had him on the Tonight Show, just specifically to ask him that question because I was so excited.
That's amazing.
That.
I knew the first customer was Llewellyn. I didn't realise he was the father of the Bond Llewellyn.
Yeah.
That's a great nugget.
I never joke, Mr. Bond.
Yes. Pay attention.
Pay attention, Bond. Please. Yeah.
But yeah, they engineered it so that character Noel van Ralt, who was a very wealthy, he was an ideal first customer for the early Bentley brand. So they pinned him, but it wasn't him that actually took delivery of the first car. Fascinating period of the Bentley history, the 1920s. Trying to build the brand, dominating at Le Mans, all the while the company was really limping along financially. It was never in good financial health in those early years.
I used to joke about the English make one of anything great, and then you go, I need 2 more.
That's a problem. Yeah.
That's why they want to move on to the next project now. We've done that already.
And ultimately, the 8 litre that you were talking about earlier, that is WO's greatest achievement.
Yeah, that's a great
as an automobile. It was just launched at exactly the wrong moment. Now, the car was sensational, but the timing was horrendous.
The only place W would have disagreed with you was on turbochargers and superchargers.
Absolutely.
He hated both of those.
He did, because it goes back to what I was saying earlier about the order in which he did things. So always reliability, refinement, power.
Right.
And of course the supercharger flipped those around. It put power first.
Right.
And he in his own words, he said it corrupted his engine.
Yeah.
because it went against his principles. And ultimately, he was right. The blower Bentleys were astonishingly fast, but it never won a race.
Never won anything.
And the Speed 6 won Le Mans twice.
Right. When he wanted to go fast, you just made a bigger engine.
Yeah.
3.5, 3 litre, 4.5. 6.5.
He was a true advocate of the no replacement for displacement.
Right, yeah.
And he was right, because those engines, those Speed 6 engines, they are bulletproof.
Yeah. This is what a lot of guys really want. They think they want the hard-ass sports car, but this is really what you want, because you can take the family in it,
Yeah, it's the expression we like to use about this car is that it's an everyday supercar.
Right.
You've got all the performance of the latest generation of really the fastest cars that are out there. But this is something that you could live with on a day-to-day basis, take your kids to school in comfortably. Kind of the best of both worlds, And then if you want more space, you can have the 4-door in the Flying Spur, which is
I guess that's
the same.
true, yeah.
It's the same electrical architecture, the same powertrain, the same chassis.
No, I love the 2-door coupe.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is really a great car. Can you adjust that exhaust note or just in sport?
No, it is active, so you do get more noise in sport, but there isn't a separate control for it. It's just keyed into this.
Steering wheel, nice. Yeah, just comfortable. I love these auxiliary gauges.
I love this. And when you turn the car off, it spins to a third side, which is just unbroken veneer. Right. And I like the way our head of interior design talks about it, because he talks about how in 50 years, cars like this will be in concours events.
Right.
And they all have black screens, and they'll all just have this big black hole in the middle. Right. Whereas when you turn this off, you don't get that. You get the nice unbroken veneer.
It's amazing how many of these I see on the road, especially in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
This has got to be one of your biggest markets, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the US overall is our number one market, and has been for a lot of years with 1 year off.
How about the tariffs?
Yeah, the tariffs, they
scaring customers away.
I hope not. I don't think we've really seen the full effect yet. Had it stayed at 27.5%, that would have been very troublesome. The fact they brought it down as quickly as they did to something a bit more manageable.
Yeah.
Time will tell, Jay. I think. The good news for anyone buying a 25 model year one of these is that there was no cost increase passed on to the customer. We're dealing with that. That will change.
What is your most common thing? Building a car on spec, or producing cars you think look good and then putting them out to the show?
Every single Bentley is made to order.
Right.
So if the retailers are, because they have to carry some stock, so they've got some cars in their showroom, but they still spec them based on what they think customers will buy.
Right.
It varies by region a lot as well. So in some regions, the average Bentley customer wants to go through the experience of choosing every colour and every trim, and then happy to wait 6 months for their car to be built and delivered.
That's interesting. When the Maybach was introduced, we introduced it up at Pebble Beach, and they're the Maybach family and all that kind of thing. And they set up these dealerships where people go in. It was a separate, from a Mercedes dealership, be a separate room with all the, and you would bespoke, whatever you wanted. But they found most people, when they go, oh, can I buy that one?
Yeah.
Well, no, you have to wait 6 months. Americans don't want to wait.
Yeah.
They won't wait 30 minutes for a pizza.
Well, actually, this for us, this market is one where customers will lean into bespoking a bit more. Some of the Eastern markets, the customer will walk in and will expect to drive away in a car that day. So you prepare for both.
Now look at that. That 4-wheel steering is great. Look how tight
it's
that
fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah, it really shrinks the car around you.
We sort of equip for both. So yeah, the dealers carry some stock, but we encourage people to go through the process of specing their car out. And if they really want to, they can come to the factory in crew, they can work with the designers there, they can spec their car there, they can come and see their car being built. So it becomes a really immersive process.
Well, when I went, as I mentioned, I used to work for Rolls-Royce Bentley dealer at Foreign Motors in Boston on Commonwealth Avenue. And they sent me to England for some reason I had to do something, give me a deposit, I don't know what it was, but I went to the Bentley factory, hilarious.
So when was that, roughly?
This is 70s.
Okay.
and we're walking around. Let's go into the interior department. I hear a kettle whistling. Hello, dearie. There's an older lady there. She's got a needle and thread. Just putting the leather in, stitching it in for the collar. It just made me laugh. They show you the hole in the roof where the bomb came through, in World War II.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was just made me laugh. Not a modern factory at all.
No, so. And there is still some of that magic there now. The factory now is, it's incredibly modern. It is a 21st century facility, and we've invested in it so much. The last 4 or 5 years, the level of change at the factory is incredible. But you've still got people there that have worked at Bentley as craftspeople for their entire career. Right. They've done 50 years. Right. We've got families where we've got 3 generations of the same family working on the production line, making cars. And that is magic. it's magic. And they run on tea, you know, there's still the kettles going in the background.
Right, yeah.
And they're doing all the same processes that they were back in the 70s, just the modern version.
There's no more Breitling clock.
No more Breitling clock, just a regular Bentley clock.
Yeah. It never really was a Breitling clock, was it?
It said Breitling on it.
You said Breitling on it, that's right. And what's the top speed on this car, do you know?
Yeah, 208 miles an hour.
It is that, 208, wow.
Yeah, and it's definitely good for it. We last year we borrowed the most expensive thing we've ever borrowed as a business. We borrowed a €1 billion worth of Norwegian national infrastructure, which was the longest subsea tunnel in the world, and we closed it for a few hours and drove one of these through it at top speed. So Andy Green, Andy did a little promo piece with us for the Mulsanne. A few years ago, we filmed him driving a Mulsanne across Bonneville at 190.
Right.
And then he starts fiddling with the radio. It was a really nice film.
That's fun.
So yeah, so we worked with Andy Keys because he is still the land speed record holder.
And of course, 8-speed transmission.
Yeah, so it's an 8-speed twin clutch transmission. The whole powertrain's good for 738 pound-feet, so it has to be strong. But you get that beautiful seamless shift, you know, completely unbroken power delivery.
Good. It really is very good.
You don't lose any of the smoothness of a torque converter, but the speed of the change is so much better.
When you pull both paddles back, does that give you regen or no?
No, the regen is all done automatically.
Oh, okay.
It just controls it itself.
Is there a track mode also, or just sport?
No, there's a couple of different sort of layers of settings. So we're in sport, which gives us sharper throttle pedal, stronger anti-roll control, stiffer suspension, a different torque split as well, so it goes more rear bias on the torque split. But then there's a mode in the ESC. We can turn the ESC into what we call dynamic mode, which just takes the handcuffs off. Still has a layer of protection. So if you're driving the car beyond the limit and you're drifting it, if the car recognises you're going to the point where you're out of control, it will step in and save you. But it will let you wind into some opposite lock.
Gotcha.
Or you can turn it completely off and then you are in complete control. Well, if you have it in the UK, Jay, you should come up and see us. Come and see the factory again.
I would love to.
If you've already been once before, come and have a look, because you would recognise parts of it, but so much of it is so different.
It's funny,
And come and see our heritage collection. It's it's not as vast as yours, but we have some really beautiful Bentleys in our fleet now. I was lucky enough to inherit it 4 odd years ago now, and we've done a huge amount of work to it, but we keep it in the same condition that you keep your cars. So they're all clean, they're all on trickle chargers, they're all just ready to run. Get in, start on the turn of a key, and off you go. Doesn't matter whether it's a 1926 3-litre speed model or whether it's the latest car. They're all ready to run. Nothing annoys me more than people calling it a museum. Because museum implies staticness and deadness. We maintain that a car that you can't drive is a machine without a purpose. So everything is road legal, ready to go. And then you can drive your way through Bentley history. So do come and see us if ever you're over.
Hey, well, thanks for bringing this by. You know, I've really been anxious to drive one of these because I've always had a thing for Bentleys. I just like the romance of it and the era and the history, and they really do a good job keeping going. Thank you, my friend.
It's my pleasure, Jay.
Yeah, anytime you get something new, let us know.
I will do. And
we'll come by and check it out.
Come and see us in the UK next time you're over.
I will go to the UK and check it out. But again, faster than the old model, and it gets better mileage. I mean, it's just a better car all the way around. So
we think so too.
Yeah, very exciting. See you guys next week.